MMA fans, what is up, and welcome back to Undisputed MMA. Today, we are going to be breaking down and predicting the UFC 260 fight card. For this video, I'm pretty much just going to predict the main card, not give too much of a detailed look for the first, 2 or 3 fights, and then I'll really get into detail. First off, we have Jamie Mullarkey taking on Khama Worthy. If you don't know Khama Worthy, the Death Star, he did just get killed in his last fight. Both guys are coming off a loss, but he was brutalized by Ottoman Azitar. I think I'm saying, I might be wrong. I think that was his last fight. But it's a pretty interesting matchup. They both are coming off losses. I don't remember if Khama Worthy is a City Kickboxing. I don't think he's a City Kickboxing guy, but I do have my money on Khama Worthy here. He's who I would be betting on. I do think he was a big prospect. You know, has that loss now, but I still think he's still a big prospect, and I still think he has a large future in the lightweight division. So next up, the next fight, we have Jillian Robertson taking on Miranda Maverick. I am not that excited for this fight. Miranda Maverick is actually quite an intriguing fighter. I don't have much to say about the fight. I do think Jillian Robertson is going to win this fight. I think she's going to win this fight, but I think it's going to be a very hard fight. And both girls are going to be pushed extremely. They're just going to really be pushed. It's going to be a good flyweight fight. I think, Jillian Robertson, ranked number 15. Jillian Robertson coming off the loss, Miranda Maverick coming off the win. I'm excited for this fight, but I do have Jillian Robertson, but I do think it's going to be a good fight. But I do have my money on Jillian Robertson. Next up, we will have my first little detailed breakdown, maybe because I am, maybe because I'm like a bit of a Sugar Sean O'Malley stan, you know, maybe just a little bit. But I am really excited for Sean O'Malley's return to the octagon. Realistically, he's a great fighter. I think he's an amazing fighter. He has realistically a great style to win that title at 135. I do think he is. I do think he has a good chance at winning this fight. But he is taking on Thomas Almeida. Thomas Almeida is a legit guy. He's been on a bit of a 3-fight skid here in the UFC, but I'm really excited for this fight. I do have Sean O'Malley winning, but I will justify that not by just saying, he's from the same place I'm from. No, Sean O'Malley is actually very talented. I do think the Cheeto loss, he doesn't call it a loss, it's a loss. That's something I'm a fan of Sean O'Malley, but I'm not going to agree with him when he says that was a win, because it wasn't. I really don't think it was. But he did get kicked in the leg, and the toe did kind of catch the peroneal nerve. That's what he's saying, but it more so was like the leg or the foot. But he still was kicked there. Thomas Almeida has some legit knockouts, but is on a 3-fight skid. He's coming off a loss. Both guys are coming off a loss. If Sean O'Malley wants to win this fight, he's going to need to do what he always does, stay on the outside, touch up Thomas Almeida, and continue to, be a sniper, because that's Thomas Almeida's weakness. Some of his biggest losses are against strikers like O'Malley, and Almeida has a really weak chin for the 135. He has a pretty weak chin in general. I think he can't take too many shots, and those are the type of guys that Sean O'Malley is going to make quick work of. I do think Thomas Almeida, with his experience, is going to buy him more time in there, and he's going to be able to land some shots on Sean O'Malley, and I do think Sean O'Malley is really going to be tested. We're going to see if he can take shots, because I do think Almeida is going to land some shots on him. I do think so. I don't think Sean O'Malley is going to be able to get out of the way of these shots, but I do think Sean O'Malley is going to win, and I'm going to predict a little roundhouse kick and then some ground and pound to finish the fight for Sean O'Malley. I predict that. But yeah, I have Sean O'Malley winning that fight. Both these guys aren't even ranked at 135, but Sean O'Malley's a big superstar. Thomas Almeida used to be a pretty big superstar, and yeah, I'm excited for that one. Next up, we do have Tyron Woodley taking on Vicente Luque, former champion in Tyron Woodley. He's been, on a 3-fight skid, I believe, as well. He's just been having a rough time. He's been having a rough time, but he is I mean, a lot of people are saying his contract is at risk here. If he does not win this fight, he's probably going to lose his contract, and I have to agree. After we saw what's happened to JDS, Alistair Overeem, you can't. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a legend. Doesn't matter if you're a former world champion. You're probably going to get cut. The UFC is still looking to cut guys. They have a big roster. Pandemic probably hasn't been the easiest on the company. But, yeah, so we have Vicente Luque. Vicente Luque, he's coming off a win. I don't remember to who. But a notable fight for Vicente Luque is the Wonderboy fight, which he did lose. But, I mean, he's got a great chin. We saw that in that fight. He really held up. His chin really held up. So I don't think he's going to get finished by Tyron Woodley. I think Tyron Woodley's going to do what he did a lot when he was defending the title. Take it slower, but not as slow as he was in the title fights, because it's Tyron Woodley's first 3-round fight in like a couple years. People don't consider that. He was main events after he lost Fight Night main events, 5-rounders. Now this is the first time he's going to be competing in a 3-round fight in a long time. I do think Tyron Woodley, that's going to play to his advantage a little bit, because he's not going to get as tired, maybe. I mean, yeah, I don't think he's going to get as tired as Vicente Luque, maybe because the way he or the types of fights he's been in, and how long those fights have been. But I do think I'm going to predict a Tyron Woodley decision. I really do. I think he'll win this by decision. I don't think he's going to be able to finish Vicente Luque. Obviously, he has that great right hand. That right hand is amazing. But I think he's going to take Luque down, get a little bit of ground and pound up, but not too much. And, yeah, I think as long as he really had fallen in love with that right hand, if he can fall out of love with that a little bit and not rely on it so heavily and get Luque to the ground, he's going to win this fight easily and be back in the upper echelon of the 170-pound division. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have the main event of the evening. Stipe Miocic, the Predator Francis Ngannou. Woo, man, this is a sick fight. This is a sick fight. Both guys obviously coming off of wins. I think Ngannou's was actually, I think his last was over Rosenstrike. Stipe's obviously last over Daniel Cormier. I'm so hyped for this fight, man. I mean, the first fight, it was called pretty boring, and a lot of people did call it a boring fight, and it was a pretty boring fight to most people. I actually thought it was a good fight. As someone who's a fan of wrestling and a fan of, you know, the work Stipe did and how he got out of the way of those strikes of Francis. But it's the same deal as the first fight. If Francis connects clean, it's probably going to be over. Now, Francis did connect in their first fight, but it wasn't very significant. Yeah, it wasn't that. Stipe ate the shots, to be fair to him. Stipe ate some of those shots. But if his stamina is better than that first fight, if he can go into the second round with energy, I think he has a much better shot. I think he needs to get, if Francis can last probably to the third round, knock him out. If he can get to the third round, I could see him knocking out Stipe. If his cardio's better, and it's gonna be a real sign of how this fight's gonna go if Stipe shoots in the first or second round and Francis stuffs the takedown. If Francis can't stuff the takedown, I think we know how the fight's gonna go. But if Francis can stuff the takedown, that's going to really discourage Stipe, and we very well could be having 3 different African champions in the UFC. And speaking of, African champions in the UFC, Kamaru Usman is in Francis's corner, has been helping him out with his ground game, takedown defense, and I'm excited to see how he's going to perform. We haven't really seen too much of his grappling, considering he's been in the octagon for 4 minutes in the last 3 years. But I'm just so excited for this fight. I don't know what else to say, but I do predict Stipe winning this fight. But it's going to be a sign if we see Francis stuff a takedown. I'm not going to be shocked at all if he beats Stipe. But I do feel as if Stipe is being disrespected. I really like Francis Ngannou. He's a sick fighter. Also, really like Stipe. Seems like a nice guy. And is best heavyweight of all time. All that. But I'm going to be predicting a Stipe decision. I do think it's going to be considered a boring fight to most casuals. But I'm going to be looking forward to it because I do like wrestling in the UFC. I like how that goes. I'm not an idiot fan with the big beer belly looking for knockouts because that's all that entertains me. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm very excited for this fight. I'm this whole card got me excited. Yeah, let me know how you are feeling about the fight card down in the comments below. And as always, MMA fans, have a nice day. Subscribe, like. As always, link to my main channel will be in the description. But if you're here for MMA stuff, stay here on this channel. I don't do too much MMA stuff on that channel. This is where I do it. So, Undisputed MMA, I am out predicting UFC 260 and hoping I got the predictions right.